Kinds of novelty lead. When writing news features, a writer should remember that the article should still have a soft touch of feature writing. Thus, his or her article should be written in such a way it arrests the reader's attention. So first is narrative lead. It throws the reader into the story by allowing him or her to relate himself or herself with the character of the story. So, it is a way to grab a reader's interest or attention. So, for example, the 5th of June 2015, Herodes Barabas, 34, experienced the longest 1 hour in his life as he sat on a swivel chair in front of his 8 interviews at Aklan State University. It was an entrance state interview of the long queue of applicants mastering their patience in waiting for instruction 1 position. The second is descriptive lead. Effective in writing personality sketches, travelogues, and the like. This lead illustrates a mental picture of the subject of the reader. A writer must be adept in creating mental images, though the play of the language to satisfy the readers in using this technique. So, this type of lead can be used for both traditional news and feature stories. For example, if Palawan were a class record, it must have received a nearly perfect grade weighted average for the unending praises of tourists coming in to experience its breathtaking grandeur. Who would drop his jaw when he sees the evidence of God's dexterous hand that crafted seascapes and landscape of Palawan? As on the list, the cerulean waves that unendingly race towards the stony foot of the island, and if hoarding is legal, one must have put in a tank that cool and pristine breeze. Indeed, when God said in Genesis, "It is good," he must be looking at the northernmost island in the Philippines, Palawan. So third is quoted statement lead. It is statement uttered by well-known personality or celebrity, usually in school setting. When student journalists want to highlight the message of the guest speaker, they use this type of lead. So this lead features a short, eye-catching, or quote by remark. So for example, the quoted, "You have to spread your wings and fly." This was emphasized by Dr. Malu H. Wang, the guest of honor and commencement speaker of Mindanao State College last April 5 at the auditorium. First, question lead. It is thought-provoking question to capture the interest of the reader and lead them to find the answer provided by the succeeding details of the article. So, it is used then sparingly because they generally do not provide the main points of the story as concisely. So for example, when was the last time you told your mother you love her? Maria Mantis, 35, wishes she could tell her 1,000 times how much she loves her now, but her mother is already heedless inside her coffin. So that's so sad. So fifth is the teaser. Generally short, crisp, and witty. This is a device to deceive the reader in jesting manner as it arouses his curiosity and gently leads him into the story. Often riddles are used and they do not give the readers any clue on the nature of the story. They are mostly suggestive and humorous. So it grabs the attention of the reader by giving a strong hint of what the ensuing story is all about. So, for example, which comes first, the hen or the egg? Well, egg could not be made possible without the hen. But, where does the hen come from? So 6 is the punch lead. It is short, striking one-sentence lead. It consists of a blunt, explosive statement designed to surprise or jolt the reader. For example, hungry farmers in Kidapawan were asking for food. but the enforcers of the law fed them with bullets. So how harsh. So next is the Astonisher lead. This lead aims to give the reader a strong sense of emotional value. Thus, it primarily uses an exclamatory sentence. So, it sums up in a startling, often contradictory approach the essence of the story. Sunod. For example, unbeatable indeed with an exclamation point. After grabbing the intramural crown from the Green Aggies team 3 years ago, the Blue Titans has sustained its supremacy as it sends all its foes kneeling before its royalty throne. So, it is the one-word lead. It uses a very significant word to capture or arouse the interest of the reader. It's a one word. Example of boom. So, with the exclamation point, a resident in Basco, Batanes seemingly ran to nowhere when a restaurant situated Kay Hukoban exploded on April 1, 2016 around 9:15 in the morning. So, the word boom with an exclamation point. So, it's just a one word that the statement is referring to the explosion. So 9 is the parody lead. It consists of a well-known quotation song, poem, book, or movie films. For example, there was never an us. This familiar line from a movie of Sarah Geronimo was the exact statement of Miss Sagpo to Mr. Chip Escudero yesterday when asked if there was a time when both agreed to share stocks in a top-performing Pakino airline company. So next is the background lead. It describes an event in which in the background overshadows the individuals who participate in it. Often, it uses stories about carnivals, festivals, dances, and others. Like for this example, it draws vivid word pictures of a new setting surrounding circumstances. For example, with the glittering and shimmering bantings along the skimpy roads, as a throng of rainbows came to visit the town of Gataran, Cagayan, to celebrate with its 30th Agsalukag Festival on April 13, 2016. 11 is the quick lead. In order to enhance its appeal and to easily catch the attention of the reader, this kind of unique lead uses typographical effects. For example, wanted, loyal Filipino teachers. This is the appeal of the Commission on Higher Education yesterday, amidst the exodus of many Filipino teachers abroad. This is the contrast lead. It is used to point out opposite and extreme, or another word, it compares two opposites. For example, last year, she campaigned for Megan Young as the president of the student body. Today, Maria Maluwang, the head of Student Performing Arts, takes the lead in calling for Young's resignation. So the last is staccato lead. Primarily rooted from musical parlance, this term suggests a lead that consists of a series of word and phrases punctuated by periods, commas, and dashes. So this uses if facts justify it. So for example, is neglected, denuded, abused, abandoned. This is the real picture of our forest today. Next is, these are the 4 reasons of using novelty lead. The first reason is to enhance the readability of the newspaper. And to arouse the reader's interest. The third is to add vigor and color to writing. And last is to challenge the ability of the writer. So this is the rules of thumb in leading writing. We have a 9. So first is make sure the lead includes the most important of the 5 W's and H, particularly the who, or who, the person or thing, or did, also the past tense, what and when. For story about a report, never begin with a statement of a report was issued by. And the second is the lead should be simple, brief, compact, vigorous, and attractive. It should not inject too much information. In general, keep the lead to 70 to 35 words. Now, try to link the others with your lead. When you cannot grasp the meaning at once, consider revising it. The third is also, of course, facts first. Do not start with when or where, unless such information weighs the heaviest importance. The fourth is, consider your subject matter. Not all news articles are treated light as well as serious. However, bear in mind that all news articles should be forceful. A writer wants to find that in making the lead forceful, the main verb should be embedded within the first 6 words. Try doing it. So keep it up to date. Use the correct tense. If in doubt, consult a grammar book or bring with your pocket book of grammar rules. Remember, being accurate and being correct are foundation of journalism. And 6 is, your lead should not carry your wishes opinion. To avoid this, indicate the person or the source from whom such opinionated statement came from. Last 7, practice avoiding to begin the lead with time, day, or date, or place also. Better focus on the action, the who or what. And 8 is, cut off non-essential details. News writing or news reporting is straight to the point also. Hence, do not begin with an empty, say nothing expression or a generality that fails to distinguish this news from the other news. Like for example, there were the report released today, or according to this. And last is, practice makes perfect. So the saying goes, soon you will enter the threshold of skilled writers. So avoid using form of a verb to be in the lead if possible. Also use the action verb instead. Action verbs are more forceful and more vigorous than verbs to be.